And welcome to the Smoke Break. I'm your host, your old pal Zane, here with Zoe Schwartz.
Hi.
Jasmine Nothing.
It's very early.
And Karla Marx.
Hello.
Karla Marx is a community activist and burlesque and drag performer here in Portland, Oregon.
Thanks for being here, Karla.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for having me.
All right, I'm going to do a quick little disclaimer. This podcast is for entertainment purposes only. We work in the field of mental health, but we don't claim to be professionals in this space. Our intention is to have conversations around lived experience. As a result, we may not always agree with everything that our guests say, but we do intend to hold space for open conversations and learning from one another.
Wow.
Look, see? I did a good job.
You did. And you even read all the words.
I can now that I've done it a couple times, but that time I was like, oh, that's why they always skip through the last part, because it feels like maybe we should make it a little shorter. I think maybe we need to a little bit.
Tighten it up.
Yeah. Tighten it up. We got it.
Because now I understand. I'm like, it's like.
Yeah, I'm just like, for a minute and one another.
Now I feel your pain.
Thank you so much for being here.
Now I feel your pain. But we didn't mean it, but we'll say it a little more concise, I think.
Yeah, next time. It's for next time. Karla, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. Glad to be here.
We're excited. So I was thinking about the idea of this week's episode. We're talking about trust. Trust is something. I just got a cat. So
big announcement.
Big announcement. I got a little kitty cat. It's not a kitty cat. It's a grown ass cat, and it has trust issues.
Oh no.
Yeah, and.
Normal kind
Which one of us doesn't?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think it's pretty. I relate with this cat a lot. It's like hissing at me, and it's just like,
and also meowing to be touched,
and also meowing to be petted.
It sends a lot of mixed messages.
Absolutely wants the love, can't take it in.
That's how my sister's chihuahuas are. They're like, pet me, and then they growl at you while you pet them, and you're like, I don't.
Yeah. So she hisses while I pet her, and then rubs up against me, and then it's
confusing.
Very confusing. But so trust, very confusing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that trust is something that like I've noticed is you have to be patient. You have to be patient to gain trust. What's been your experience with trust?
So the idea of trust is something that's coming up in the activist community a lot right now.
Sure.
In terms of like cancellation culture. How do we not just kick each other out of spaces when we don't agree on something?
Sure.
But repair is not something that a lot of us have been taught or seen in our family units.
Oh, yeah.
Or seen from medical providers. It's something that we desperately need to learn how to do. But there's something blocking a lot of us from doing that work.
I mean, it's uncomfortable and we don't like discomfort. We always shy away from it and would do whatever it is to like get away from discomfort when it's happening instead of like leaning into it.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
My therapist says that more of us are comfortable being in the uncomfortable, as in when there is discord being sowed amongst us. It is easier for us to sit in that hurt than it is for us to move through that hurt to find a way to
have a conversation,
fix something.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Well, and I think that something that I heard was like the idea that like there's almost always a point of rupture, but there's not always a point of repair.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So it's like every relationship there's going to be headbutting. There is going to be, conflicts. There's going to be disagreements, but it's like, how do you repair?
Yeah.
And I think that's something we don't get taught how to do. And we've seen so many times it go wrong that like, we're afraid that it doesn't happen. And that's sad because it stops it from the times that it actually does happen.
Yeah.
It stops us from reaching that.
Yeah. And, no movement can go forward. No community in art can go forward.
We're already so small. We don't need to break this down.
Yeah.
We don't need to break this down.
I think a lot of people think that like in order to trust somebody, they have to like, not a lot of people, but I think the people that like haven't figured it out yet, they feel like in order to trust someone, they have to like never fucked up or never hurt you. And it's like, that's the part that's not accurate about relationships. Like people are going to hurt you and people are going to fuck up, but you have to like figure out what your boundaries are and like where you can repair. And there's like so much growth in learning how to repair that I think, it's almost like if people that like don't fight, like a couple or something, they're like, we've never fought. Yeah. And I'm like, well, what's going to happen when you do have a fight? Like you have to know how to handle each other. I don't know. I just feel like, I agree. I think like having a conversation after something really hard is like probably the most growth I've felt in relationships.
I feel like that's given me more trust. Like, like after the rupture and repair, like if I have a really
so much stronger afterwards.
A blow up, if I have a blow up with like a friend or something, and then we repair that, it is so much stronger because we know we've gotten through something like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and you're not scared to have something happen in the future because you're like, oh, we can figure it out. Like, it's not going to be, it doesn't, like, having a hard conversation or getting upset with each other doesn't mean that, like, we're not going to work it out or that we hate each other or something. But before that, you might not know. Like, I don't know how, and some people do. They respond weird to confrontation or, conflict. Some people can't hang with it. And then you're like, oh, I thought we were just going to work this out. And they're like, no, you're an asshole. And you're like, oh, I thought we were going to get mad and then get over it together.
I mean, it speaks so much to like your family systems growing up. Because if you think that a rupture means I'm going to get kicked out of my house, I'm going to like not be able to share my voice, I'm not going to be able to be accepted in this community anymore. Of course, you're going to just like not know how to do the damn thing.
You freeze up.
But there's so many tools that we already have that are critical in that process, like validating each other, make sure we're de-escalating each other, truly de-escalating. Repair, to build that trust, it's small actions instead of like, let's repair everything all at once. Like, you piecemeal it together.
I think I like the idea of the small actions because it's like, I think about this cat very much of just like, I'm in its space, but like if I try to be more in its space than it's ready for, then you know what I mean? Then that's going to break trust. So it's like, I think trust it's repeated actions and it's small actions, but I think it's also validating those actions,
Absolutely.
Because like, it's it can feel very like in the repair process. I think that it's very difficult to repair things, but I think it's even more difficult to repair them if you don't know that what you're doing is the right thing or is in the right direction.
Yeah, I like the idea of like small steps towards repairing because if you think about someone, like if you had something and then someone overdoes it and then that doesn't feel trustworthy either, right? That feels fake. Yeah. So it feels like incremental,
like a grandiose thing to fix trust.
Yeah, and and I think about like unhealthy like relationships often do have that dynamic, like interpersonal. Well, probably also bigger dynamics too, but like that sort of like big blow up and then repair, like that can be. Not great.
Does anybody have any like experience with like false repair? I was thinking of a blow up I had with somebody, and the person like asked to like have a reparative conversation with me, and I sat down, and I think that this person thinks it was repaired, and I let them think that it isn't, and I don't necessarily. I'm having trouble like buying into the idea of trying to fix it any further, and so I've just kind of like. One might call it just lie. I've just lied and been like, this is good enough, kind of. And like, I don't know that I will ever like get all the way back to like, we can be in the same spaces, but I don't think it's like fixed. And I don't know that I'll try to fix it.
And like, I'm curious, like, what was it about their way of attempting to repair that felt like ingenuous or disingenuous?
I think it like ultimately. It felt super one-sided. It was all about like I harmed, but like there was no like back and forth about it at all. There was a lot of crying on the other side of the table that felt kind of manipulative, which sucks because I don't know if the person actually had like that much power over not crying like that. Like totally. I cry when I don't mean to all the time, and I'm just like, God damn it! Like I would like to be tougher in this moment.
I'm angry.
I cry when I talk about my feelings. Much.
So I found myself just like validating them a lot and not having that like reciprocated necessarily. And so eventually was just like, okay, you know what? Like you're right. I fucked up and I'm sorry, and I'll just take that and we're gonna move on.
I think that reciprocity is the thing that like builds trust. Because it's just like if you saying like I'm sorry is one thing, and like that might allow them to trust you more, but them not saying sorry to you doesn't allow you to trust them more. So it does have to be a reciprocal, and good faith is something that I feel like that's the like don't show up to a conversation in not good faith, because that like don't waste my time. If you have already decided how you feel, then like there's no reason for us to talk.
Yeah.
I was fine with somebody on the internet, which I understand is, poor form.
Sometimes you got it.
Not usually a good plan.
But it's something near and dear to my heart. And so I was like trying, and like it was definitely an example of somebody like not showing up in good faith. And I was like, at some point I was just like, you know what? Okay. Like I'm just gonna stop. I'm not gonna put any of my energy into this. Because like I don't know that I can be curious enough about your take on this to change, and I have no intention of changing my mind on this.
Yeah.
And neither do you. And like, what is the point of this?
But that's like the curiosity is like, that's where the reciprocity comes back in. It's just like, you're curious about their take, but they have to be curious about yours, And if
I was asking questions.
Yeah, exactly. So that's where
their answers were bullshit, but I was asking questions.
You see that so much in online spaces too, because like people forget that there's a human on the other side of whatever you're trying to communicate on that Instagram post or on Facebook. Yeah. And then you're stuck in your position. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, that's the problem with like the internet is that like, because there's no almost accountability. You can just put a fucking picture on.
You can dehumanize every single person.
Dehumanize every person that whose face you see. Because there's none of that accountability. There's I don't know, just the online spaces. It's hard for me to have trust. Like I've wanted to like get back onto online, but because I just have trust issues.
Understandable.
Yeah.
Because then a lot of people think that they do know you online.
Yeah.
Which is a big part of it. Like parasocial relationships.
Oh, yeah.
Where they're like, I know everything about this person, and therefore I can assume anything I want.
I saw their Facebook post.
And they like that weird thing about being like performers too.
Oh, yeah.
Because then it carries into like real life spaces. A thing that keeps happening is like I'll post like a sad comic or whatever, like a piece of art that I made. And then I'll like run into people and they'll be like, are you okay? I'm just like, fuck off, man. Like, I understand this is coming from a good place, but I would like you to not talk to me anymore.
You're like, it's a fucking...
You should make a comic about people asking you if you're okay after you make comics.
I should. It'll be so meta. I'll add it to my list. Yeah.
That's what happens to me when I don't post enough ass. They're like, Karla, are you okay?
Ass that works.
Where's the thirst traps?
We haven't seen your butt enough this week. Are you having a depressive episode?
Yes, I am.
Yes, and
they're like,
but you don't know me like that.
Have you tried depressed twerking? It might help.
Probably.
No, that is a thing.
I've heard that too.
Yeah. You got to move the energy.
Yeah, I've heard it. Yeah, it's real, especially in your hips. Yeah. No, really, trauma gets stuck in your hips.
That's right.
They say that.
Yeah, and mine hurt.
Mine are tight.
Yeah.
What is anyway, trust.
Yes, trust.
I've been encountering this phrase "darvo" a lot lately.
Ooh.
To go back to kind of like the people who are doing the fake apology. And I'm seeing more and more of this in the community.
Yeah.
In terms of like toxic personalities.
Do you want to explain what that phrase is?
I can't break down the words.
I feel like I've been trying.
Right.
Yeah,
it's what?
Defend.
Yes.
Defend. Attack. Reverse. Offender. Right.
Yes. Reverse offender.
You have to say these into the mic, so.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. Attack. Reverse offender. Is that right?
I think so.
Yeah. It's like an abusive.
It's an abusive tactic. Often used by like narcissistic personalities or just like rough people.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna give them empathy too, because like you didn't just get created like that out of nowhere.
No, it's a coping mechanism, right? Like,
but it is awful.
It's terrible. Yeah.
So when you are trying to have that repair conversation at some point, that person might burst into tears as a manipulative tactic. Love bomb you. I love you so much. Like, why are we gonna
just forgive me?
Yeah, just can you get over it? Be like, no, I'm the villain. You're a terrible person.
Yeah, that's like the main strategy is like like turning the person who's being abused into the abuser is like sort of right. Like
yeah.
It's
effective.
People, it's a common thing.
It's crazy.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think that like that's the problem is that like accountability is such a hard thing to take that people will do anything that they can to escape it. And I feel I don't know what it is, that is about that, because it's just like I don't know, like they have this saying that like the truth will set you free. It's like a cop said that, but like at the same time, I believe so.
No, in my head that works.
Did it really?
Yeah.
But I do believe that there is truth to that, but I also believe that, people have enough like poor experiences with being honest and it not being received well that they start creating these stories of like, I do have to defend. I do have to, do all these I do have to attack because like I have a friend who like often panics in situations like that whenever they're accused of anything. And it's like, I don't think it's them being, a bad person, but I think that they're having a reaction to,
and when we panic to protect ourselves.
Oh, yes. Exactly. And then it's every one of ourselves, like from the time that you're a kid all the way up till now, that's doing the response.
Damn. Oh, thank you.
Thank
you. I appreciate that. All right. Well, cool. We're going to take a real quick break and we will be right back with the smoke break. And welcome back to the smoke break. I'm your host, your old pal Zane, here with Zoe Schwartz.
I'm here.
Jasmine Nothing.
Hey.
And Karla Marx.
What's up?
What's up, playas? I am so excited to talk about the next section, which is hate. Oh, man. Love hate. So I have a definition of here that like I feel like was put it very well for me. And it's just that hate is shrinking another person's opportunities hate is trying to shrink, erase, or permanently constrain another person's options, sustained by a story that their suffering is not real, deserved, or is necessary for you to survive. Huh, okay. Damn. Made it through it.
Yes.
Might have described oppression.
Yeah.
But might have just described, I don't know. Like, I think it's if you think of it in a wider scale of oppression, sure, it seems like that. But like, think of like the times that we've hated somebody and we've been like, I don't want them to have that opportunity. Yeah. I want them to,
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't feel like a hateful person sometimes. And then I'll think of a particular person that I quite dislike, and then I'll be like, oh, I do actually want that particular person to not have future opportunities.
Yeah.
And I think that's deserved.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, but the part you said about how I can't remember exactly how you said, but basically like in order for me to be able to be where I'm at, this person has to stay where they're at, right? There's some those words, but
it's sustained by the belief that like this is either deserved or it's a threat to my life.
Yeah. So like
my pattern.
Yeah, to me, that's what upholds the idea of like a hierarchy. Like there are people that are better, inherently better, and there's certain things that make us, where we are. Like white men obviously are at the top of the hierarchy, and then like there's a million other things that But yeah, that's what it made me think of is like that the idea
and
that
why they're defensive about being at the top of the hierarchy.
Like the idea that like who I am and my identity or my access to whatever in the world is dependent on stepping on someone else's back, right? Like that is like totally like how you uphold all the evil shit that
I think I think that like a lot of like the phobias are like people afraid of like you threatening like their pattern, their existence, whatever they have, that they're like things have gone this way and they're like but with this person I don't want that threatens that could influence the way that like I'm functioning inside this.
I'm just thinking about white Christo-fascism at its core. This is exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Because of the fear that we're taking away opportunities from white Christians. We're taking away land from white Christians. We're taking away a world of opportunity for white Christians.
White Christians, yeah. Well,
and that's like what our country was founded on.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can look at all of the opportunities that they took away, all the things that they did to constrain or take away opportunities from minorities, from women, from femfolk, from just anybody who wasn't a straight white Christian male.
And the story they had to tell themselves to make that make sense.
Yeah, exactly. And I think
because we're the chosen people.
But I think it helps with having compassion because it's like understanding that somebody has a story that they're telling themselves. Because you can't deprogram them unless you deprogram that story.
Yes.
Because if they believe that this is a threat to their survival, then they're going to defend it. But if you can talk to them in a way that's like, this is not threatening your survival and everything's going to be okay, that's how we start getting through to people.
Yeah. That makes me wonder if like, I don't know, maybe this is a dumb thought or I don't know how to say it right, but like the idea that like, I don't know, like the hate is like, I don't know. I lost it, but I had a cool thought. I don't know. Maybe it'll come back to me.
It was a cool thought still.
Somebody
it's a cool thought.
Damn it. We just couldn't access it.
Yeah.
I had a weird thought. It'll come back. Anyway.
I was reading a thing this morning about J.K. Rowling meeting a real trans person and immediately going, actually, like like this, basically like this one's cool, you know?
What?
Like, and like we both agree that she's not an actual woman, but I have no problem calling her she, her, and I always do because it's respect. Like,
so confusing.
it was
so funny.
It was
Sounds like a PR tour.
It was a really bizarre little like interview of like, but as soon as you meet like a real individual person, and you remove that dehumanization, like.
Well,
it's hard to maintain the hate in quite the same way.
Yeah. Well, it's like that's something I feel like I'm always inspired by is that black dude who like met up with like the Klan members and shit and was just like, I'm going to deprogram this. And like not even deprogram it, but just be like, I'm going to be an example of what you think you hate so long that you can't like you have like the cognitive dissonance won't allow you to believe that anymore.
Well, and to recognize that maybe what you're hating isn't the right thing.
Yeah.
You know, like the Black Panthers making that move to kind of hold hands with Klan members up in Chicago, a lot of it was centered around the person that we're hating each other is not the person that's oppressing us. It is not the person that hates us. It's
let's retarget
this.
this
Systems.
Yeah.
And we are all working class people getting fucked.
Yep, exactly. Well, and I think that, you know, like there is potential for unity, but we have to work through the hate, and the hate is the hardest thing to work through because like people hate and also don't understand why other people hate.
Yeah.
You know, like you can say like, I hate the right? But the right also hates gays and they also hate, you know, but like neither of us really understand the thing that like we hate. Like, do we really understand conservatives to the extent of like, do we understand what they think they're protecting? Do we understand what the stories that they're actually telling themselves so that they're able to, you know, be this?
I mean, they're not that complicated, but yes, a lot of people don't though. You're right.
Yeah. But I mean, I think a lot of the left will just say, "Oh, fuck them," because they're the right.
No, you're right. You're totally right.
And it's the same way that like historically we've been like, "Fuck the South."
Yeah,
perfect.
And just like
so
any group of people is a monolith.
Yeah. There's so many people doing work in the South across race, across gender.
Yeah.
And for us to discount them, like hate that whole thing.
And I think it is
all that power.
And it is so complicated because it's like because I feel like the right, the tent for the right is like so big and like they welcome anybody who kind of like moderately agrees.
Yeah.
And then on the left, so like as the only other option, I guess, for this conversation anyway, like we do just like disagree. I'm like, well, you used the wrong term. You didn't agree with it. We agreed on these 6 things, but the 7th thing we disagreed on. So now we don't like you anymore. And so now you're on the outs. Yeah. And I just have this feeling of like us doing that over and over and over and over again. And then I'm just going to be like the only one standing there.
Yeah.
Because I've removed every single person because they didn't agree with me exactly. And it's not like the answer is to like bend your values or morals to welcome people in that like you,
we gotta respect a diversity of tactics.
Yeah. But like, do we all get our own lane and we all have to like point it at the people who are actually the problem?
Yeah.
And
with love.
Yeah.
Which is probably the harder thing.
I was gonna say that's
it is. Well, because I oftentimes like I will watch people like oftentimes on the internet and oftentimes leftists just like tear apart the right and just be like these, you know, and it's just like I'm like, this is giving them more ammunition. This is giving them another memory in their head of these motherfuckers won't listen. These motherfuckers are all the same. We're just reinforcing that. And like that part scares me because it's just like that's feeding into it. You know what I mean? Like well, you guys can't use this word and then we're using the same word it's to describe them, so it's okay. I
was listening to this interview with somebody. They did a project and they had these phones set up. And so they had a phone set up in front of like a liberal college somewhere. And then they had a phone set up in like a really, really red area. And you could just pick up the phone. And if you picked it up, it automatically made the other phone ring for free.
Oh, interesting.
And anybody who nearby could just pick it up.
Interesting.
And then people would have these conversations, and then the conversations were recorded for the study. And they did two sets of them. And it was like a left and right and a city and super small town.
Okay.
And they were just saying that like there was only out of the like thousands of conversations that were recorded, there was like a couple that devolved into like bad stuff, but most of them were people talking about like things that you have, like, this is my family, these are things that I care about, this is what I spend my time doing, and that like you were able to move past like they were saying that like the word like Trump name, like the name Trump, like only came up in like 4 conversations total. Even though a lot of conversations were political-ish, he wasn't actually like part of the conversation most of the time.
Yeah, I think that shows how much of an impact that social media really has, because it's just like if you take out the faces and the pictures and the banners and all that shit, and you just have 2 people talking to each other, what are they really going to talk about? You know what I mean? Like, what are the conversations that we would be having if we didn't have this layer that, you know, on top of it?
Well, something I just thought of too is if in some ways it feels good to like decide that the person who harmed you is terrible and like meant to do it in a moment, you know, maybe it feels good because if the anger feels
like validating.
Yeah, the anger feels equivalent to the hurt you felt, right? Or whatever. But I think the truth of the matter is like long term, it's better for everybody to try to understand the person's perspective, even if you think their perspective is bullshit, to try to find some understanding of their humanity underneath it, because everybody is literally just trying to get their needs met. Some people have been told some fucking crazy stories about how they're going to need to survive. And like you have to, I mean, yes, there are some people that are just bad, but most people are not, you know what I mean? And like,
but what made them bad?
Yeah, exactly. That's what I mean. Like, and yeah, exactly. Like there's no real like, yeah, exactly. Even the people that are, you're like, I don't know where that happened or what, yeah, whatever. Anyway, but yeah, I think like just the basic understanding, even just like if you're going to fight with a friend, like it feels better to think like they must have accidentally hurt my feelings, not like on purpose. You know what I mean? It's just, so I think like it's better for everybody if you can find some humanity in everybody's behavior instead of thinking, because you know those people that are just like, everyone's out to get me.
Yes.
And it's hard to be around. And like, I've been that person before. I've had moments in my life where I was that person. Definitely like kind of a pattern in my family. I think of like just being angry and like thinking, I don't know, being defensive. I don't know. I've just noticed this as I've grown older anyway, or like just focusing on the negative, you know, and then that translates to thinking everybody's out to get you sometimes, or that like you got to watch your back all the time. And I don't know. I just think that like giving people the benefit of the doubt is good for everybody's heart and soul. And like, yes, you got to protect yourself, but like, even if you don't want to be around that person, it still feels better to be like, you know what? They're probably just going through their shit. Like,
absolutely.
You know?
Yeah. What about you? Like, what's been like your experience with like hate? Do you feel like you've worked through it? Do you feel like there's some you're still working through? Or that's hard
I mean, I grew up in like the Christian faith. Every man in my family is a pastor. So like you're told that the story is about love, that we're going to love our neighbors and stuff. But very quickly it becomes clear that that is not what is happening.
Yeah.
So I became like really obsessed with like human sociology at a young age because I was rejecting that Christian pathway and saw that otherization is something that it happens across racial lines, religious lines, gender, sexuality, and it is easier kind of, we've already mentioned this, to get to know a person if it's one-on-one, but if you don't know anything about the other person, you might hate them because you're scared.
Yeah.
You're fearful of whatever you're going through. And the algorithms that exist right now feed on that. Like they've shown that you're going to be on your phone longer if you are in hate, if you are in fear, if you are in terror.
I read something recently that like almost made the case that like that's like I would say like Jesus is the only person that like people love without having met.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But outside of that, like you can hate people you haven't met before, but as far as loving people you haven't met before,
maybe celebrities though. Don't you think some people like love? Because I've definitely when I was
that parasocial
Jesus
thing
is a
again.
pretty
Yeah.
big
when I was a
celebrity.
teenager, I genuinely felt. What'd you say?
Jesus is a pretty big
but I'm just
celebrity.
saying. On top of yes, he's the biggest,
yeah,
right?
but I mean, like worship and stuff. But I mean, but that person has to be like a huge celebrity. They have to be like, you know, this huge thing in your head. But like, it's so much easier to be like, there's a group of people out there that is like this. They're all bad, and it's like, and to immediately hate them like that is so much easier than like building up a Jesus or a who is it? Who is it? Is it Beyonce?
Taylor Swift was
Taylor
my first
Swift.
thought.
Oh God.
Not for me so much.
I mean, not for me.
That's close to the Christian
I knew
faith
it.
right there.
Surprise.
Oh my God. Speaking of hate, Taylor Swift. No, I'm kidding.
Let's talk about hating Taylor Swift and then get a lot of views on this.
But I mean, I feel like hating Taylor Swift is just it's one of those things where it's like it's easy to jump on something.
I don't hate her. I just don't think she's as amazing as everybody acts like she is.
I just don't love billionaires and millionaires.
I agree with
Nobody's
that.
that special. You know?
But I mean, but for example, like the hate Taylor Swift thing, people know very little about can know very little about her and automatically jump on that.
Yeah.
Like I did, because I was just like, I don't know her. I know enough about her to hate her, and that's all I need to know.
I feel like I've hated the celebrity like around people before. Maybe we don't hate the person because we don't really know the person.
No, I hate Jared Leto.
Yeah.
We all get to have an exception.
I feel like I hate Johnny Depp, and I used to love him, so that's a sad one.
We all
for
go
me.
through a journey.
Yeah. 21 Jump Street to now. And honestly, he's the one that like made that Darvo thing. That's where I learned about that Darvo thing.
Yeah.
Was from that case. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, I digress.
He's doing like a artist contest right now. So he's like, it's very confusing.
Is there a lot of like rings?
I thought you were going to say he's
involved?
doing a stand-up special.
No, please.
That's probably next.
If he does, I'm quitting. I'm never doing. If he does stand up, I'm never doing it again.
Over. Done.
That's the end of my comedy career.
All right. Well, we're going to take a real quick break, and we'll be right back with the smoke break. And welcome back to the Smoke Break. I'm your host, your old pal Zane, here with Zoe Schwartz.
I'm here still.
Jasmine Nothing.
That's me.
And Karla Marx.
Yahoo!
Yahoo! Sponsored by...
I wish.
Nope, not yet. But that is a hope of mine.
There we go.
There we go.
We did it. We did it. And we're going to talk about hope. Hope is something that I feel like is necessary, but isn't common. And I often I shared something recently that said all this rage used to be hope, you know. All this
Yeah,
rage
it hit hard.
Yeah, and I was like,
Owie.
yeah. But I feel like there is hope, but it's, you gotta fucking find it in like some of the weirdest goddamn places. Like today I woke up and there was a farmer's market.
Lovely.
Right outside your place.
Right outside my place.
What'd you
know?
get? Did you get anything, or you just enjoyed it?
well,
Weird
I
experiences.
enjoyed it.
Now I want to know more.
Because there was a one-man band playing Play That Funky Music, White Boy.
Okay, was he
Were they white?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I don't think he knew all the words, so he was not playing it right, which felt kind of awkward. And then and then there was some dude who was definitely very, very, very under the influence, saying hi to everybody, who was like doing the forest like conservation. Like, I need you to conserve the forest, but I need you to not be high and scare people away from the forest.
Yes.
You know, you can be high. I think that's fine. But don't scare people away from conservation. And then this other dude was like sitting outside and he was just like coughing up a storm. I was like, can I get you some water? And he's like, oh, no, I'm fine. It's actually this vape. And I was just like, you were like drooling on yourself. And he throws on his jacket, and he was also a conservationist.
Oh, what the fuck?
The trees are doomed.
Yeah. So
Everyone's wearing like the Nature Conservancy vest.
Yes, he
Like, I'd like to give a donation.
He got done coughing and then threw it back on, stood up, walked across.
Well, that's
the street.
policy.
Trump's
you know,
America.
you can't vape in the vest.
Yes, exactly. So I respected his respect for the uniform.
Oh my god!
And it gave me hope somehow.
That's the people that are trying to save the forest.
It's a very interesting job as someone who has done that before.
Saying hi to that many people is hard, but let me try to wrap this around. So having hope that we're going to do anything positive, you know, like they're trying to save the forest. We're trying to save the fucking world in all of our tiny little pursuits, you know, like how
You also have lived outside of this farmer's market for a while now. You've never gone to it before.
That's true.
So like you decided to do something different than normal and like venture into a place with a shit ton of people you don't know.
And
also not your favorite thing necessarily.
Not at all.
And
not at all.
just like go and have like an
experience.
absurd experience, and then you got a couple.
I feel like I imagine it
fun.
very different than the way you just like. I was picturing like, you know, like fruit and like vegetables.
that was there too.
That was there.
Yeah.
Okay.
You gotta open your eyes.
It still was a farmer's market.
I'm like, it's not coming out with.
Still was a farmer's market.
Zane just doesn't care much about produce.
Yeah.
So
One of my dear friends describes those things as scenes. So like when you go somewhere and like things are moving around, people are like doing their hustle. You got your street roots person on the side. It's a scene.
This is a scene.
Absolutely.
I like that.
let's adopt that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I feel like hope is this thing that like I feel like all of us are like you see it on the internet, you see it in the circles that you run in. Like you hey, how's it going? Fucking man, I am doing my fucking best.
Yes.
And it's like, how do you maintain hope in a world where it's not encouraged.
Yesterday, I saw a headline that a like very rich like hunter was trampled to death by elephants.
Hope.
Hope.
I really that one made me
There we
feel
go.
real good.
That-
I hope they show up at his funeral and flip his body around like they did
Fuck
to those
yeah.
other people.
Yeah.
I did. I also liked that headline.
Yeah.
I just listened to the podcast about elephants, and they were talking about how the elephants remembered like an anniversary of some guy that like saved them's death and like shows up in his house every year on his anniversary.
Yeah.
It's the telepathy
Because
tapes. I don't know
elephants
if you've
never
listened to
forget.
this. Well, they're telepathic. Animals are telepathic too. You guys, I don't know if you guys have listened to this podcast, but it's really good. Telepathy tapes. It's yeah.
Oh my god. Okay, so that means that I could have superpowers, which is my hope.
It's fascinating podcast. I won't. Apparently, I'm advertising for their podcast.
Zoe, what's your hope? What's your hope?
Well, I think like what I was thinking of when you all were talking about it, I think for me it's like if you like it's almost like you have to zoom in, which is like usually I tell people to zoom out, but like
Okay.
I think they're
this
both
one-
useful
yeah.
depending on the
Yeah.
situation.
I think with this one I have to zoom in and I have to be like little interactions, like watch nature, like watching little kids be kids, having like really genuine relationships with people, like
Yeah.
having space for people's shit and like being supporting and being that person or feeling that from other people, all that shit, like that to me is like the most. And I think it's political too, like I think people sometimes are like you have to do this or you have to I've had people comment on like, oh, you don't post stuff, and I'm like, yeah, because I use my social media for like comedy and like celebrating an anniversary or a birthday every once in a while. I rarely use it for anything, but if you like knew me, you'd know that like I feel very strongly about things in my personal life and I act that way. So I think just acting on your values and really being present with the things that are like small and matter. That's how I keep hope. Because if you zoom out, it's like freaking terrifying.
Oh,
Yeah.
This is not a zoom out situation.
You gotta zoom in.
Zoom reel in.
You gotta zoom in. You gotta zoom in.
And
What a privilege though to zoom in that far.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
my day-to-day work outside of drag and burlesque is I work for the National Lawyers Guild. And I've been doing this work for over 2 years where I'm facing literally officers shooting you in the face.
Yeah.
And it's hard to have hope
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
when you're like in warlike circumstances on the
Yeah.
daily and seeing people's rights being ripped away. But somehow I do.
Yeah. And I think that's powerful is like maintaining that hope in the face of everything telling you not to.
Yeah.
Like that's the radical act sometimes.
Yeah.
It's
I
just
think
like
so.
maintain the hope.
Yeah. And like
I'm like maintaining hope at them.
Yeah.
Marie Kwambe, I think is her name, has this quote that says, "Let this not lead you to despair,
Mhm.
but let it lead you to hope instead."
Mhm.
Mhm.
And I think the powers that be, these systems that we've discussed for the whole of this podcast, really do want us to not have hope.
Oh,
They
yeah.
want us to not have love.
They
They want us
benefit.
to not.
People are way more controllable without it.
Exactly. But
Yeah.
if we're able to sit in our heart emotions and still love and still wrap our arms around the idea that liberation is possible, like that is hope for me.
Mhm.
Mhm. Yeah, I think that we have circumstances that would not give us a lot of reason to hope, but
Mhm.
I think that like hope becomes even more important during those times.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I don't know, like I find hope in in comic books,
Yes.
you know, where I'm just like even though I know this isn't a real story, I just need to know that like the good guy wins, the bad guy loses, and
Mhm.
that that like things are complicated but they can resolve, you know what I mean? And that
Totally.
like people are trying their best, or
Mhm.
like the things that I don't see reflected in the world are reflected in this story. And even if it's not a true story, it's giving me hope that like maybe I can be the person who reflects that in the world, you know?
Mhm.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
That was
I like
lovely.
That was beautiful.
Oh.
And I think art is like the critical component. Comedy is
100%.
a critical component
Oh,
to
100%.
fostering that hope and fostering the language around like, hey, we don't know what the fuck is going on, but we're gonna try and love each other and move through this
Mhm.
together.
I mean, that's kind of why we met, is because you do specific drag that really pulls that into it. Because like all forms of drag are respectable, but like I sometimes need something a little different.
Oh, you need a little Rudy Giuliani?
And I did need a little of that. And that is pretty incredible. I don't know if you want to talk a little bit about like the particular type of drag you do and the way that you pull
Yeah.
politics into it.
So I started doing drag in like 2022, and the idea was just like I wanted to do a Bernie Sanders number. to kind of. It was right before the election, and we lost again, of course.
The number didn't win it. Damn it.
But I really wanted to figure out a way to highlight like what's happening in the community while still throwing ass. So I like started with a money gun that would then have like QR codes to different mutual aid projects all over Los Angeles.
Nice.
When I moved up here, people loved this shit.
Mhm.
They wanted to have art specifically with a political slant to it, and that led to me doing things like being Donald Trump and getting pissed on, or Rudy Giuliani is one of my award-winning numbers, and there's so much hair dye over that face. But by putting my gay little hands all over these terrible human beings, or finding somebody that people like previously idolized, like Bernie, really is a low barrier of entry to bring people into the political conversation.
Yeah.
And people are grateful for it at the end of the day. I didn't realize it was going to be as resonating as it is. And it's
That's pretty
changed.
incredible.
Yeah.
It's changed my life. I'm glad that it changes other people's too.
Absolutely. Well, and I think that, like being able to like make jokes about like people in power like that, you know what I mean? Like being able to be a jester in the face of, the king, I think it's so powerful, and that gives people hope, is
Absolutely.
like being able to laugh when you shouldn't laugh is like that always feels like that gives me hope, because like I have a lot of mood swings. So like oftentimes when I get into like an angry mood, a sad mood, it's like I'm living off the idea that like there is a hope that I will be out of that mood at some point. And sometimes like a laugh, a chuckle, a dark joke, whatever, like that's the little bit of hope that I need to be like, okay, if I can laugh a little bit, I can laugh a little bit more, right?
Yes.
So
Yeah,
that's
it brings you back.
yeah, it brings you back. It brings you back. All right. Well, I mean, I think, did anybody else have anything else to say about hope, or?
I don't know. I like what everybody said.
I think whatever. I think
Hope is the thing with feathers.
Hope is.
I don't know who said that. Shakespeare, I think.
Shakespeare, old white dude.
We're gonna end with a Shakespeare quote.
Yeah.
Turn around, do something else, y'all.
I mean, I think that is the idea that like we all of the shows that Zane and I run together, like all the Telltale Presents stuff, like that is the idea, is that we're bringing people into a room that don't know each other, who are going to quietly listen to somebody's story that they don't know, and theoretically let themselves be changed by it, because this world sucks, and we're trying to drag this world closer to a world we would actually want to live in, inch by inch, which includes radical acts like making art when it doesn't feel easy to do.
Yeah.
So I hope everybody else is finding a way to do that too.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, thank you so much, Karla. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it was such a treat. Such a treat.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
That has been the Smoke Break. I've been your host, your old pal Zane. Here was Zoe Schwartz,
Thanks for being here, everybody.
Jasmine Nothing,
See you next time.
and Karla Marx.
Ow.
Later, players.